This is it. Don't get scared now.
Home Alone, a Christmas classic that's warmed hearts and sparked laughs for decades. But beneath its festive glow lie secrets and quirks that even Uncle Kevin's pizza obsession can't overshadow. Let's step into the McCallister residence and uncover 20 weird facts you didn't know about this 1990 gem. Number 1, the house wasn't just a set. It was a real family home picture, the McCallister house, red brick elegance, a grand staircase, and that creepy attic where Kevin's banished. You'd think it was a Hollywood creation, but it's a real home at 671 Lincoln Avenue, Winnetka, Illinois. Built in 1920, this Georgian-style mansion was scouted by director Chris Columbus for its warm, yet imposing vibe, perfect for a story of family case and childlike ingenuity. The owners, the Abenschian family, lived there during filming, squeezing their lives around cameras and crew. They'd wake up to John Hughes's team, transforming their living room into a pizza party war zone. The production used nearly every room except for some tight attic shots recreated on a soundstage. Fun fact, the basement where Kevin faces the furnace monster was the actual house's laundry room amped up with spooky lighting. That iconic exterior. It's still a tourist magnet, though the owners politely beg fans not to trespass. In 2012, the house sold for $1.585 million, cementing its status as a cinematic landmark. Who knew a suburban home could steal the show? Number 2, Macaulay Culkin's stunt double was a 30-year-old man. Kevin McCallister, the pint-sized hero, zips downstairs on a sled and swings across booby-trapped rooms with the agility of a kid. But here's the twist. Many of those daring stunts weren't performed by 10-year-old Macaulay Culkin. They were done by a 30-year-old stuntman named Larry Nicholas. Hollywood's child labor laws and safety concerns meant Culkin couldn't tackle the riskier scenes like the sled crash or the zipline ride from the attic. Nicholas, a seasoned stunt performer, stepped in his small stature, making him a convincing double. The crew used clever camera angles and editing to hide the age gap. But if you squint during the sled scene, you might notice Kevin's suspiciously adult-like proportions. Culkin did perform some lighter stunts like running through the house, but Nicholas brought the high-flying chaos to life. Imagine a grown man pretending to be a kid dodging paint cans and tarantulas, all while the crew prayed the illusion held. That's movie magic for you. Number 3, the pizza boxes were custom-made for a fake pizzeria. Those greasy, glorious pizza boxes stacked in the McCallister kitchen, they're not from any real Chicago pizzeria. The iconic Little Nero's was a fictional joint dreamed up by the production team. Art director Dan Webster designed the boxes to mimic the look of local pizza chains, complete with a cheeky logo of a pizza slice wearing a gladiator helmet, a nod to Little Caesars. The boxes were custom printed, and the pizzas inside were real sourced from local spots, but the branding was pure Hollywood. Why go to the trouble? John Hughes, a Chicago native, wanted authenticity in the details even for a fake pizzeria. The boxes became so iconic that fans have since created real-world replicas, and some Chicago pizzerias have offered Little Nero's specials as a tribute. Next time you watch Kevin scarf down that cheese pizza, remember, it's a slice of fiction baked with a side of Hughes's hometown pride. Number 4, the tarantula was a real live spider. That heart-stopping moment when Kevin's uncle holds a tarantula over his face. That was no CGI trickery. It was a real 8-legged nightmare. The spider named Barry belonged to a Hollywood animal trainer and was a Chilean rose tarantula known for its docile nature. Still, the cast wasn't thrilled. Daniel Stern, who played Marv, insisted on a single take for the scene where the tarantula crawls across his face screaming like his life depended on it. Spoiler, that scream was improvised and 100% genuine. Stern later admitted he was terrified despite assurances Barry was harmless. The trainer stayed just off camera, ready to wrangle the spider if it got too cozy. Macaulay Culkin, meanwhile, had to act unfazed while holding the critter, though he later confessed to Goosebumps. The tarantula's cameo stole the scene, proving that sometimes the creepiest moments come from real creatures, not special effects. Number 5, John Hughes wrote the script in just 9 days. John Hughes, the mastermind behind Home Alone's heartfelt chaos, was a writing machine. After a family vacation sparked the idea, what if a kid was accidentally left behind? Hughes churned out the 90-page script in a mere 9 days. Holed up in his Chicago office in August 1989, he let the story pour out, drawing from his own childhood fears and family dynamics. The breakneck pace didn't sacrifice quality. The script's blend of slapstick and heart became a blueprint for the film's success. Hughes's speed was fueled by his habit of writing longhand-filling legal pads with Kevin's booby traps and family banter. He later said the story felt like it wrote itself as if Kevin's voice was already in his head. This whirlwind creative burst gave us a holiday classic proving that sometimes genius strikes faster than a pizza delivery guy dodging a booby-trapped doorstep. Number 6, the snow wasn't always real. Chicago winters are brutal, but Home Alone's snowy magic wasn't all Mother Nature's work. Filming took place from February to May 1990, and Chicago's weather didn't always cooperate. For exterior shots, the crew relied on real snow when possible, but melting flakes forced them to get creative. Enter the snow machines and potato flakes. Yes, the same stuff used for instant mashed potatoes. The art department blanketed the McCallister house's lawn with artificial snow, mixing potato flakes with biodegradable foam for texture. The result was so convincing that even locals couldn't tell the difference. For the iconic airport scenes, the crew hauled in truckloads of shaved ice to mimic a blizzard. The fake snow was a headache to clean up sticking to shoe and equipment, but it gave the film its wintry charm. Next time you see Kevin sledding through a winter wonderland, know that some of that snow was closer to a side dish than a storm. Number 7, the movie was almost directed by someone else. Chris Columbus helmed Home Alone with a perfect balance of heart and hilarity, but he wasn't the first choice. John Hughes initially tapped director Patrick Reed Johnson, who'd worked on smaller projects. Johnson prepped for weeks scouting locations and storyboarding, but creative differences with Hughes led to his exit. Enter Columbus, fresh off adventures in babysitting. Hughes admired Columbus' ability to blend comedy with emotion, a must for Kevin's journey from forgotten kid to family hero. Columbus brought his own flair, like emphasizing the house as a character and amplifying the slapstick. He also pushed for Macaulay Culkin after seeing his natural charm in Uncle Buck. The switch wasn't without drama, Johnson later said, leaving hurt. But Columbus's vision made the film a global hit. Imagine Home Alone without his touch. No zipline stunts, no perfectly timed pizza deliveries. Fate had other plans, and Columbus became the maestro of this holiday symphony. Number 8, the Christmas decorations were left up for months. The McCallister house glows with Christmas cheer wreaths, tinsel, a towering tree. But keeping that festive vibe was a logistical nightmare. Filming stretched from winter to spring, so the production team left decorations up for months, turning the Aubenchien family's home into a year-round Christmas zone. Neighbors in Winnetka raised eyebrows as the house stayed decked out past Easter. The art department sourced authentic 1980s decorations, from tacky Santa figurines to red and green garlands, to nail the suburban holiday aesthetic. The iconic Christmas tree, which Kevin decorates alone, was a 20-foot monster that took days to dress. Fun fact, the ornaments were mostly plastic to avoid breakage during Kevin's chaotic antics. The crew also hid microphones and wreaths to capture dialogue, blending festivity with function. That holiday warmth you feel, it's real, but it came with a side of crew members untangling Christmas lights in April. Number 9. Joe Pesci's swearing was a constant problem. Joe Pesci, as the hot-headed Harry, brought grit to the Wet Bandits, but his potty mouth was a challenge on a PG-rated set. Fresh off Goodfellas, Pesci's natural dialogue was peppered with F-bombs, unfit for a family film. Director Chris Columbus urged him to tone it down, but Pesci's improvisational rants kept slipping out. To keep things kid-friendly, Pesci invented the now iconic fridge substitute, muttering lines like "pizza fridge" instead of his usual expletives. The crew cracked up, but it took multiple takes to nail clean versions. Pesci's frustration was real in scenes like the pizza box argument, where his scowl hides a battle to stay PG. He later admitted he'd forget the cameras were rolling, thinking he was back in a Scorsese flick. That fiery energy made Harry unforgettable, but it took serious restraint to keep Kevin's uncle from sounding like a mobster on a bad day. Number 10, the soundtrack was recorded in a cathedral. John Williams' Home Alone score is pure holiday magic with twinkling celestas and soaring strings. But did you know it was recorded in a cathedral? The music was captured at the St. Francis Xavier Cathedral in Chicago, chosen for its acoustics that gave the score its ethereal, church-like warmth. Williams, already a legend for Star Wars, and Jaws, wanted the music to feel like a Christmas hug, blending orchestral grandeur with cozy nostalgia. The cathedral's natural reverb added depth to tracks like Somewhere in My Memory, which became a holiday staple. The choir, made up of local singers, recorded late into the night to avoid daytime noise, their voices echoing off stone walls. Williams conducted with a Santa hat on, keeping spirits high. That iconic soundtrack wasn't just composed, it was crafted in a sacred space, giving Home Alone its soul-stirring sound that still makes us reach for hot cocoa. Number 11, the Wet Bandits van was a real pizza delivery vehicle. The beat-up van Harry and Marv used as their pizza delivery cover. It was a real 1980s Dodge van, borrowed from a Chicago pizzeria and repainted with the fake little Nero's logo. The production team scouted local delivery vehicles to get the look right, wanting a rusty, suspicious vibe that screamed crooks in disguise. The van's interior was rigged with props like pizza boxes and a crowbar to sell the con. During filming, the van broke down multiple times, stalling on snowy Chicago streets and delaying shots. Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, stuck in the freezing vehicle between takes, improvised some of their funniest banter to stay warm. The van's clunky charm became a character in itself, rattling through the suburbs as the Wet Bandits plotted their heist. Next time you see it parked outside the McCallister house, know it was a real delivery van turned cinematic star. Number 12. Kevin's sled was a custom prop. Kevin's sledding scene, rocketing down the stairs and out the front door, is peak Home Alone chaos. That sled wasn't a store-bought toy. It was a custom prop built by the art department. Made of wood and metal, it was designed to look like a kid's sled, but sturdy enough for stuntman Larry Nicholas to ride without breaking. The crew reinforced it to handle the staircase's bumps and the outdoor crash into snow. They also waxed the runners for speed, making sure it glided convincingly on camera. Filming the scene took days, with the sledder's path carefully choreographed to avoid crew and equipment. The prop was painted with a retro red and green design to match the film's Christmas vibe. After shooting wrap, the sled vanished into storage, though rumors say it's still in a Warner Bros. Warehouse. That simple sled carried Kevin's rebellion, proving a kid's toy could become a cinematic legend. Number 13, the airport scenes were shot in two different cities. The frantic O'Hare airport scenes, where the McCallisters dash to catch their Paris flight, are a masterclass in controlled chaos. But they weren't all filmed in Chicago. The main terminal shots were captured at O'Hare International Airport, with real travelers as extras to nail the holiday bustle. However, the boarding gate and plane interior scenes were shot in Los Angeles on a soundstage at 20th Century Fox Studios. The production team rebuilt an airport gate and a first-class cabin, complete with 1990s airline seats and fake snow outside the windows. Coordinating the two locations was a headache. Extras in Chicago had to match those in LA for continuity, down to their winter coats. Director Chris Columbus used handheld cameras to capture the family's panic, making it feel like you're running alongside them. Those seamless scenes, they're a patchwork of two cities stitched together to keep you glued to the McCallisters' misadventure. Number 14, the paint cans were filled with sand. The paint can booby trap swinging down to clock Marv and Harry is one of Home Alone's most iconic gags. But those cans weren't filled with paint, they were packed with sand. Real paint would have been too heavy and messy, risking injury to Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern or their stunt doubles. The prop team used gallon-sized metal cans, filled them with sand for weight, and tied them with heavy-duty rope to swing from the staircase. The cans were rigged to stop just short of hitting the actors with sound effects and clever editing, adding the whack impact. Stern later said he still flinched every take, sand or no sand. The crew tested the setup on a dummy first, ensuring the trajectory was safe but looked brutal. Those cans became symbols of Kevin's ingenuity, proving that a kid with a hardware store's worth of traps could outsmart two bumbling burglars. Number 15, Macaulay Culkin kept his lines on cue cards. Macaulay Culkin's charm as Kevin is effortless, but at 10 years old, memorizing a feature film's worth of dialogue was a tall order. To help the crew use cue cards for some of his scenes, especially the longer monologues like his heart-to-heart with Uncle Frank. The cards were held just off camera by script supervisors with lines written in large print for Culkin to read naturally. Director Chris Columbus encouraged him to ad-lib too, leading to gems like, "You're not at all worried that something might happen to Kevin," a line Culkin tweaked on the spot. The cue cards weren't foolproof. In some shots, you can catch Culkin's eyes darting slightly to read them. His natural charisma carried the performance, But those cards were a silent co-star, helping a kid lead a blockbuster while still learning his lines between takes. Number C in the furnace was a puppeteer's nightmare. The basement furnace with its fiery glow and menacing voice terrified Kevin and audiences alike. But that menacing machine was just a prop brought to life by puppeteers and clever lighting. The art department built a fake furnace from plywood and metal with red and orange lights to mimic flames. A puppeteer hidden inside manipulated flaps to create the mouth movements, while a sound designer added the growling voice in post-production. Filming was tricky. The puppeteer had to sync perfectly with Macaulay Culkin's reactions, all while sweating in a cramped hot box. The crew used fans to keep the set bearable, but the puppeteer still called it the worst gig ever. The furnace's brief screen time took days to perfect, but it became a memorable villain, proving that even a basement appliance could steal the spotlight with a little movie magic. And there you have it, 20 weird facts that peel back the tinsel on Home Alone. From real tarantulas to fake snow, this holiday classic is packed with secrets as clever as Kevin's booby traps. Next time you watch, you'll see the McCallister house in a whole new light.